What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. We have a very kind of touchy topic today, but I feel like it needs to be put out there because I feel like a lot of people are giving the wrong perspective on this. I kind of understand why, but I'm going to kind of break down why the numbers really make sense. And what we're talking about today is the Greninja alternate art from Twilight Masquerade and why the price is so crazy. It is kind of crazily up there. We're about to go looking through all the cards right now. All the SARs, well, not every single SAR, but the big main SARs from every single Scarlet and Violet set, starting with Obsidian Flames and going on, and kind of seeing why this actually makes sense of why the card is actually expensive right now and why it's so much. So we're going to look at that right now. I'm going to show you the statistic side of it, because everybody's saying, oh, it's market manipulation. I really don't think it is, but it could possibly be. We'll go to it. We'll look at it right now and kind of see what I have. I'm trying to bring another perspective of it. I'm not saying that this card is definitely worth the money it is right now, because this card is like 260, 270. It's kind of crazy. But if you look at the numbers, you'll see kind of why it's that much. So let's go look at it right now. Hope y'all enjoy. Let's see. Okay, so first off, we're going to be starting with this Obsidian Flames Charizard right here. The Obsidian Flames Charizard, that's where we're going to start out right now. So if you can see, this card right now is $44. $44. So it's kind of crazy, but if you look at look how many listings there is, 176. And also this has a lot to do with pull rates too. Pull rates on Obsidian Flames, everybody knows pull rates are ridiculous. So the way Scarlet and Violet has been going is pull rates have been getting harder and harder for the rest of these sets. We have a lot of, so you see the Obsidian Flames Charizard, it's the lowest going SAR. First we're gonna go, next we're gonna go for the Charizard from 151. The 151 Charizard makes sense kind of price. Everybody's kind of 151 is kind of like an anomaly, I would say, really, because everybody loves 151. But if you see the 109 listings, which is different, but you know it's a lot different from the 176 listings with Obsidian Flames. So the Charizard from 151, it's like the biggest, most priciest card there. It kind of makes sense. The price makes sense there because there's not too many of them on the market, but there's not. Now let's go to that was 151. Now we're going to be going to Paradox Rift, and that's where this is where the pull rates kind of started getting harder, or they're kind of easier to pull. It really depends which card you're going for. Most of the time, they're kind of easier. So we're going to be starting out with the Roaring Moon. Look, there's $65 for the card, but there's also 45 listings. So the price right here, it kind of makes sense. This card has actually gone up a lot too, or it's actually dropped down a lot. So you see 70, it's been like 70. This is over like the last 3 months, but it was higher than this at first. It started coming out 72. So you know, it's about the same price generally. It's dropped a lot so in the last like month, but also Paradox Rift is still available a lot of places. It's available everywhere you go, pretty much like that. Like every website, I can still order cases. I've been looking. I'm gonna probably buy another case of Paradox Rift for about, I think, $5.79. So the cases are still getting, it's easier. Next, we're gonna be looking at the Iron Valiant. Iron Valiant, like I said, see, look, there's 70 listings here, and the card's $33. Like when we go to the Roaring Moon, there's only 45 of them. So it kind of makes sense. The listings, when there's more of the card, it's all this really comes down to, honestly, is supply and demand. Really, that's what it comes down to. In Pokemon in general, most of the time. If there's a lot of them, it's going to be worth less money. If it's a lot more of them, and it's hard to pull them, it's going to be worth more money. Next, we're going to be going to the Gardevoir from Paldean Fates. So, you see, there's 73 listings. It's like $50. So, it depends on the listings. This card is hard to pull. Paldean Fates is rough for me. If y'all seen my openings with Paldean Fates, it has been rough. So, Paldean Fates is kind of rough for me personally. Next, we're going to go to the Bubble Mew. You see, now there's 51 listings for the Bubble Mew, and it's $85. So the price kind of varies. If there's less of them, price is going to be higher. Less of the card, price is going to be higher. And it depends on pull rates on the set too. Paldean Fates was kind of still the area where the pull rates were kind of easier that I've seen for the most part. Then the Charizard SAR, 65 listings, really hard card to pull, and $120. So the prices kind of make sense. You know what I mean? Like that, it goes, pull rates are easier, card goes down. Same thing with Obsidian Flames Charizard. Like we looked at that. There's 176 of them. Card was easier to pull. So many more of them. So the card's gonna be cheaper. The biggest card in the set. So next we're gonna be going to the Temporal Forces Iron Leaves. So you see 94 listings, $49. Easier set to pull. The pull rates I heard in Temporal Forces is kind of easier to pull. So it kind of makes sense why the cards are where they're at. Some of the prices have gone up, but you know, Temporal Forces is kind of, like I said, last 6 months, it's dropped down a lot. Like I said, it was $80, $90, but Temporal Forces, a lot of booster boxes are still available. There's a lot of Temporal Forces still available. Next, we're going to be going to one of the biggest cards in Temporal Forces. You see $65 and 59 listings. What's the Iron Leaves at? 94 listings and $50. Supply and demand. And Iron Crown has fell a lot too, but you know, it makes sense. Now the Eevee. Now we're gonna start getting into the Twilight Masquerade. The Eevee right here, this TCG player is kind of messed up. I don't really know. Because look, when you go right here, click this, go to the Eevee. On here, it says $120. $120? That doesn't make sense. That is not the price actually. I'm just looking at TCG player. So the price really is 60, 70 bucks for the Eevee. What's crazy is I actually sold that card on release for like 50 bucks. I thought it was worth it, but you know, the Eevee is, there's a lot of art rares in Twilight Masquerade, so it kind of makes sense. Next, we're going to be going to the second highest card in Twilight Masquerade, which is going to be the Carmine SAR. You see, there's 27 listings and the card's almost 100 bucks. Less supply, more demand. Less supply, more demand. The cards in Twilight Masquerade are so beautiful. Like, the cards are gorgeous. So it makes sense. So you see the Carmine has gone up there a lot too. Like, so less supply, more demand. Now we're going to be getting to the biggest card. And also in Twilight Masquerade, the SARs are really hard to pull. Like, the pull rates are insanely hard to pull. So the pull rates, Pokemon's finally realized that there's actually more of a chase now when you go into these sets. Alright, now we're going to be going to the biggest card here. I went through most of all of Scarlet and Violet. Now we're going to be going to the Greninja. You see 28 listings, $270. $270 I feel like is a really high price point for this card right now at the moment. I feel like it is inflated a lot, but as you can see, all the other cards that we've looked at through the rest of the air, literally, Carmine, 27 listings, $900. But when you go to the Iron Crown, 59 listings, you see Iron Leaves, 94 listings, Charizard, 60 listings. You see all the other cards are above 50 listings, but Twilight Masquerade, all their cards are below 50 listings. So there's less of the cards going out there and more of the people that want the card. Especially this card is gorgeous too. This SAR is nice too. So I feel like that's what makes a lot of sense. A lot of it is there's less supply of the card out there. The card is extremely hard to pull. Like, the SARs in Twilight Masquerade are crazy to pull. I don't even think I've pulled an SAR, to be honest with you personally. And I've opened a decent amount of Twilight Masquerade. It's a fun set to open up. It's a beautiful set. Also, if you try to look for Twilight Masquerade right now, the Twilight Masquerade sealed booster boxes are actually up there in price too. We'll actually go and look that up right now. The Twilight Masquerade. Because Twilight Masquerade booster boxes are crazy right now in prices. Like, the Twilight Masquerade, for some reason, I don't know why, but it makes sense because a lot of people want to pull the booster boxes. No, we're not looking at that. Booster boxes, okay. Look at the booster box price. It's $110. That's the highest price too, because everybody was changed to Greninja too. But you see, it's actually gone up. It's, I think, one of the it typically goes down a lot, but typically a lot of the other booster boxes in the Scarlet Violet air are right below the $100 mark or barely above the $100 mark. So Twilight Masquerade is the most expensive booster box. Is in this air is the most expensive box. So I feel like the price kind of makes sense right now, but it really doesn't. Could this be manipulation too because of how lower their supply of Greninja is? A lot of people just buy the card up, you know, buy the 28 of them and then list the card for like $350 because everybody bought them up and there's only be a couple listings. Maybe, possibly there is that point. A lot of people really like this card. This card is beautiful. The art, I haven't seen it in person. I couldn't even imagine seeing it in person. It's gorgeous. So the supply and demand, that's what really comes down to. $270 for it might be a little too much, but to me personally, I feel like it kind of makes sense. I feel like it should be maybe more around like the lower 100s, probably, maybe mid 100s. I say about probably like 200 to 150, maybe, probably. But 270, I feel like it is a little overhyped. But it kind of makes sense because, like I said, there is a lower amount of them. So take it for what it is. Me personally, I wouldn't be buying this card right now because I feel like it's a little overpriced. Maybe a lot overpriced. But it just, when we're going forward, really, I feel like a lot of people are saying there is a lot of manipulation, which there could be. Because, like I said, there's a low amount of these cards. So more people could be buying them up and then listing them back up, and buying all the supply up and listing them up. So it kind of makes sense there. But also the card, like I said, it's really hard to pull. It's a beautiful card. Everybody loves that card. And Twilight Masquerade was kind of a sleeper set too. So, and also Pokemon didn't release that much of them. This is probably gonna be one of those sets that get another second wave. If they don't bring another second wave of this, it's gonna be crazy. But that's my thoughts of this. Let me know what y'all think of this. Beautiful card. Hope to one day pull it. Be nice. But see y'all in the next one. Peace.